Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Genesis Mindset and on and up towards these daily videos. Last year I did like a gratitude challenge where I challenged myself to do a video on Instagram and TikTok of gratitude every single day for, I think it was 30 days or 60 days. I can't remember now. And that's actually how I connected with Shane Schuler. That's how I discovered Richard Hart's brother. So whilst I was mucking around on TikTok. So shout out to you, Shane, because we had some good times on TikTok. We did some good videos. All right, great. Let's get into it. So yes, I'm doing myself another challenge. I want to do like a 30-day YouTube challenge. I want to upskill. I'm really enjoying this. I'm loving it. So this is my challenge. Let's get into it. And I'll just make sure that I'm sharing the sound because there's a few video clips. So the Genesis Mindset, as always, mindset for investing, trading, and life. This is personal opinion only. It's not financial advice. So this is really just for entertainment. There's nothing more to it than that. I'm just a dude who's trying to share with you some ideas. So continuing with this theme, Pulsechain Real DeFi update. So in this episode, I'm going to update you on, well, where I kind of lost the ropes with Maria. The Richard Hart SEC case. Well, let's just get into it. We'll see how we go. Okay, I look inside. So Maria, it's time for a break. To be completely honest with you, there was too many rabbit holes. I'm not gonna lie, it was actually doing my head in. And the reason why it was doing my head in was I thought I was onto something, and it was like all these things were becoming clear for this very short period of time. And now it's like, I feel like I'm in the dark again. It was like I was in this inner circle. Oh, and now I'm completely lost. So there's been a few things that have come out of it that have been interesting and good, but yeah, I kind of feel back to square one, to be honest. So, I mean, look at this.
قوية في بريطانيا تتسبب باضطراب كبير في وسائل النقل برا وبحرا وجوا.
Right. Exactly. So this is the kind of rabbit hole that you go down when you go down the rabbit hole with Maria. So there'll be things that are kind of clear, and then there'll be all these links, and you try to look for the relationship in the video to like what they're talking about. And yeah, I have no idea what some of that stuff meant. So that video just made no sense to me. It's in a language I don't even know. So anyway, here we are. Break time from Maria. Tomorrow I'm actually going to be doing my AI episode. So I'm still going to be like having a look at the chat logs on and trying to and just continue to try and wrap my head around it in that way. But as always, if anyone has updates or if anyone has things that they understand or learn, there was actually somebody talking about in a spaces that I joined today that they went down this 10-day rabbit hole where they could like really understand things. And I was like, wow, that actually happened to me for the last few days. But then same as him, things just became like really unclear. So things are not very clear. Sometimes it feels like a game. It feels like a game. It feels like Maria is like a dungeon master, and they. I mean, I'm so fascinated by this concept of the layer two. When they started speaking about the video games, I was like, oh, the metaverse. Oh, yeah, people talk about the metaverse. I love the metaverse, by the way. But in my head, I'm going to actually start to show some visuals of this about what I actually see, how this could be. You know, you've got these different routes where the liquidity flows, and it's like, well, what about if it's, you know, season one is going through this liquidity route, but actually it's just you playing against like monsters and whatever, like you're competing and you're fighting for the tokens, and the tokens is the value that you're getting out of it. So just like if you were playing Axie Infinity, you'll get some kind of tokens, but these tokens are all like interrelated, interconnected, and you can keep growing by keep playing all these different games within the ecosystem or within the metaverse of that ecosystem. And hopefully it continues to expand outwards. It is in liquidity, and liquidity is expanding into it. And that's what we want to actually continue to see. In my opinion, that's what real DeFi is. So now let's get on to your boy, Dicky Heart.
When the ex-president of the United States is having lawfare used against him so that he can't run for office, that's what they do in the third world. The people in power use the executive branch and the police to make it so that no one can run against them, so they just keep winning. That's not good for democracy, guys. It's really not. You're supposed to have free and fair elections where people are allowed to choose between different parties, and you're not supposed to, once again, this is just like prior restraint. You're not supposed to, before they can run, make sure they can't run, because how can you have a fair election when the people that you want to unelect are in control of who gets to run against them? It doesn't.
So what I see here is, I'll show you the next clip about why I think Richard is extremely well prepared. It's a continuation of what Crypto Heartbeat was saying, which I imagine Matt was actually just extracting from this particular video as well. But this is actually really bad. This is bad. Like, whether you like Donald Trump or not, I always try to remain impartial. Whether you like him or not, it really doesn't matter. Somebody should not have their right to run for presidency impeded upon in the way that he is being impeded upon. And I don't really know all the full details. There could be reasons, there could not be reasons. But when you think about the kind of lengths people go to, you think about Watergate, for example, the lengths that people go to win power, it's humans are the same, man. The lengths that we go to, we would literally, like, have you seen the new Napoleon movie? He gathers like 600,000 people just to go and get slaughtered, trying to conquer Russia for what? For power, for pride, for myself. That same characteristic is still in our minds. It's still in our minds. It's still here. Hasn't disappeared. It's just manifesting in different ways. And this is actually how it's manifesting in the corruption of government. So let's continue now with the next slide. And this one, this was a home run in my opinion. This gives me so much conviction in what Richard's doing.
Yeah. So the arguments that I have that are obviously true, that cryptocurrencies are communications networks that might have Rule 210 protections for safe harbor, that might have protections for freedom of speech, freedom of contract, freedom of association, protection against prior restraint. These arguments aren't getting used. They're just not, which is so stupid to me. These are communications networks among peers. It couldn't be any more obvious. This is speech. We are transmitting text. We are transmitting messages. We are transmitting numbers. We are transmitting pictures. We are transmitting art. We are transmitting audio. This is a communications network amongst peers. This is speech. This is speech as speech gets.
It's a speech as speech gets. I love it. I love it. It's a home run. And he goes on to talk about nobody's using these arguments. They're first in the Constitution, the 1st and the 10th, I think he was saying, like, nobody has used these arguments up until this point in cryptocurrency against the SEC. So I see a man who is extremely confident, extremely wrecked. I see a man who's working his ass off, like battling against the hate of people like, oh, he's on the run, he's guilty, just sue him. People with like hundreds of thousands of followers just slandering him, like all the mainstream crypto media slandering him. What if he's right? What if the argument, this is what I feel in my heart. Now is the time. Now is the time where the SEC is going to get a big knockout blow to the head. It's not over. This is round one. This is round one. This is the first battle of this war against traditional finance. It shouldn't be a war. It really shouldn't be a war. We should be mature enough to say, hey, this power structure that exists now is only working for a small percentage of the population. Can we create a new power structure where everybody benefits? But it's not going to work like that. That's not how humans are. We don't want to let go of something that benefits ourselves. If I get an unfair advantage against everybody else, I don't want to lose that. Not me necessarily, but that's the kind of characteristic that humans have. So I see a man who's going to fight. He's going to win. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think these arguments are brilliant. I think the people who are really starting to like sync up to this kind of, like, I never really understood like freedom of speech, but it's getting more, this is what he means. Okay, I get it. Listening to Matt. Okay, yeah, I'm starting to get it. Wow, it actually is, talking about NFTs, transfer of art, transfer of music, transfer of all these things. It's like, oh, wow, I get it. I get it now. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's fantastic. And I think he's going to win. And I think something like, in my heart, this is my prediction. He's going to win. Trump is going to get in. The market's going to go bonkers. It's going to take a while for Pulsechain, but it's going to go bonkers once he wins, unless it drags out past this bull market. We're all hoping that it's not going to, but there is a potential that it could. It really depends on how far this thing with the SEC goes and how hard they kind of fight each other. I'm kind of hoping that it sort of becomes like a checkmate before they even go to court and like, well, look at all this evidence, you can't actually win. That's what I'm hoping for. But again, this is just the battle one. They're going to go away. They're going to go away, and they're going to get all the best lawyers, all those rats that represent all the other rats. They're going to get all of them. They're going to come together and have this little rat infested scurry of like trying to manipulate the world like they do now. And they'll be back. They'll be back. Richard Heart will be like a king. He's going to get the respect that he deserves for winning that SEC case. He's going to be a big victor for cryptocurrency in general. People are finally going to be able to see the type of character that he is, the type of nature that he has, and that he just wants to help everybody. People are going to see that, and they're going to be humbled. There's going to be a lot of people who aren't going to come out and say sorry. There are going to be a lot of people who do come out and say sorry, and thank you in advance to those people who do, because you are the kings. You are also kings, in my opinion. If you can say sorry and admit you're wrong, you are a king. So I think this is what's going to happen, and I think this is like World War III for me. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. There's going to be some sort of major conflict between the old and the new, and the old is like TradFi, war, all of these things, nuclear, and then the new way, the consciousness of us, the consciousness of truth, the consciousness of cryptocurrency, and there's going to be a clash, a final clash, where it's going to be like, this is it. If we have this clash, it's game over for the world, and the truth will win. Because the truth always wins. The truth will embrace that falseness as brothers and sisters as they are. They cannot see that we're brothers and sisters. They're so stuck in their self-centered ways. But the truth can. The truth can. That's why the truth will win. Love, the truth, whatever you want to call it, will win. This is actually the time. They've murdered everybody else who's tried to push that message throughout society, but now is the time. It's overflowing. It's overflowing. The energy is there. The vibe is there. It's like, now is the time. They can't hide their footprints anymore. They can't hide their murderous ways anymore. Like, you think about, what's his name? Malcolm X, JFK, RFK, even John Lennon. I've thought for a long time John Lennon was murdered by the American government because he was a destabilizer of their way of life. So I think this is the final battle that we're going to have in the next few years, however long that is. I have no idea. Okay, so I wanted to just add this commentary of these fine gentlemen.
I just think it would be a classic move by the Hexicans to be one of the first. And who knows how it would turn out. But to win a case against them that was brought against them,
Right.
I think it would be an amazing timestamp in history to say, wow, these guys really mean business, and probably give a little bit more credibility. There's some people out there that think that the Hexicans are crazy and that we're just sheep and we're following ourselves to slaughter, and that's just not the case. I think it would just get a lot more eyes on it, on the whole ecosystem, if we were some of the first ones to take them on and win. That would be pretty amazing. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
Thought that was an amazing little summary, very optimistic summary by Crypto Ewok from Creative Crypto. So I think that's absolutely what I see as well. And I really hope there's other people in the community who feel that optimism. Of course, there's going to be negativity. Where we are in the world, there has to be. So let's be kind to each other. If there is negativity, if people are feeling afraid, let them be afraid. I think the best thing for that fear is to show them the evidence, show them the videos of Richard Heart and the kind of things that he's talking about. Ease their mind. Don't criticize them and say, oh, stop coping and, just stop being a soy boy. You know, we're all soy boys. We're all copers. Who cares? Get over it. Stop calling each other names. What we need to do is embrace each other. In my opinion, that's the best way to be. So let's start showing the people who are afraid this kind of evidence. I think Richard Hart is going to knock them the fuck out, and I can't wait. I can't wait. And I think the rest of us, I think all of us really, for the most part, feel that way. Okay, now I'm going to be showing a little clip from Vibra Finance. So my boy Adam and CoachX, they had a live stream today, and there was something that I wanted to clip from that. Again, with this whole idea of liquidity providing, what is real DeFi? This whole idea of liquidity providing for me is a key part of what real DeFi is. I think centralized finance is all about money flows. It's all about liquidity. Who owns that liquidity? Banks own that liquidity. They lend it out to everybody else, and they're like the centralization of that liquidity. So real DeFi is where everybody owns a part of that flow of money. They all own a piece of it, not just the banks, not just the banks. That's what real DeFi is to me. That's why this is so significant. And I really like how there's all these different emerging ideas and concepts about how liquidity and Hart's law all works. And I think it's a very legitimate thing. I think we've heard things like water. We've heard things like Kamado. We've heard all different kinds of things, basically. So I really like what these guys had to say as well. So I want to share this because I think it's really important to keep showing these different examples. And as you see these different examples, somewhere along the way, the penny's going to drop and you're going to go, oh, this is what it is. Because I've been listening to these videos for a long time. And then somewhere along the way, it's like, this is what it is. This is what they're actually talking about. I'm seeing it in the charts. I've heard it like hundreds of times now from all these different communities. Now I get it. So I really want people to get it as well, like the beauty of what this actually is, the elegance of this and the power of this idea. I think people really underestimate the power of this idea. Okay, so I just go to the next video.
Teddy Bear, Atropa, Burn, 808, Liquid, Alien.
Yeah, they're like mini turbos.
X. That's exactly what it is. And basically, like, we're just like we're a tugboat of the Atropa ecosystem too, and we're a tugboat of Pulse. But we have
actually, you know what? I think Pulsechain would be the tugboat, and then these ones would almost be like emergency engines that keep the boat going when Pulsechain can't pull us along. Then you have TSFI give us a little boost, and then you have, Alien give a little boost, and then 808 gives a little boost. So the more of these little boosters you have there to keep it going when the main tugboat stalls out, the faster we get where we want to go, the faster we get over the ice wall.
The ice wall. Nothing's gone to the moon there, Adam. So shout out to the flat earthers. I loved that analogy, and I think that's exactly what I see. This is something that I started documenting a while ago when I started to see this kind of seesawing between Pulsechain and Atropa. But now it's becoming more elaborate. Now it's becoming like an interconnectedness between lots of different communities. You've got the Tangang doing it. You've got HSA community doing it. You've got Kamado. You've got Atropa. You've got PTGC. You've got Rob. You've got all these different communities now amongst Pulsechain that are starting to do it. Even Liquid Loans, the protocol does it within itself. I really love that. I think it's better if it interconnects with other things, and I'm sure that it does. I'm sure that there are bonded liquidities between what's happening with Liquid Loans and the rest of the market. But within itself, you're seeing that dynamic, that concept of how this thing generates interest, which goes into there. This generates interest, which goes into there. This can generate interest, which goes into here. And it's this flow of money that's like perfection, and it's infinitely upwards. That's what I'm getting a sense of. And so I think this is something that, again, this is real DeFi. This could be something where we're actually creating something totally unique, totally new to the world. This is a new model for decentralized finance. So that's why I'm like, this is real DeFi. This is what they mean by real DeFi. I never got it. Now it's like, yes, this is real DeFi, not the other kinds of DeFi where it's that same like mindset that continues the old markets. It's like a new mindset. It needs a new mindset too in order for it to be real DeFi. So the final couple of slides here. Okay. So there's going to be no courses here. I think I'm very deliberate about wanting to be, in a way, opposite to everything that I see in crypto. I think there's a lot of guys who, I mean, well, for example, Richard, and there's no ads, no courses, doesn't sell you anything, calls a top on the day. We've all heard that spiel many times. Somi is the same. I think there's a lot of hexicans who are like this. And you know what? If you do sell courses, I have no problems whatsoever. We're living in a capitalist society, like by all means. But what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to sell you a course. I'm going to show you what I'm doing for free. Whether it works or not, I have no idea. This is the kind of model that I want to set for Real DeFi. I can't tell you what to do because you are your own free thinking being. But I want to lead by example because I believe if enough people actually understand what this actually means and consider it to be like our way of doing things, then we win. That's what I really believe. But I can't make anyone do anything. If you choose to follow, you can't blame me if it doesn't work. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. It could, if enough, I believe if enough people come on board with this idea of like providing liquidity, bonding liquidity tokens, not just buying and selling, but yes, the liquidity is like a key component of that. Crypto Sloth is starting to do some awesome little series on liquidity providing. I think you should definitely go check out his stuff. So I want to actually lead by example, but if it doesn't work, you can't blame me. You have to be responsible for yourself. It's got nothing to do with me. So I'm only just learning. Okay, so the old way, in a way, I was thinking about this, right? So the old way is buy low, sell high, buy when there's blood on the streets. If you really think about it, aren't these kinds of statements forms of market manipulation? If somebody's not saying buy low, maybe the thing will just capitulate. Maybe it will continue to go to zero. But people follow those who set the example. So in this instance, it's people like Warren Buffett, the big dogs. And, I think Warren Buffett's very kind-natured. So this is not like a criticism on Warren Buffett in this manner, but again, it's just the way that things are. It's a way of being that's deeply embedded with selfishness, which produces a certain type of market dynamic. So whether or not it is a correct market dynamic, it's just the way the free market is now. The free market is just a response to the consciousness of the world. It's just psychology and money, human emotions and money, and whatever. And then all the other dynamics, lumber, you need the lumber for this and you need coal for that and all those sorts of things. Yes, of course it is those sorts of things, but I think more and more we're seeing a disconnect from that. We're seeing, for example, like zombie companies. I think the majority of companies in USA are pretty much propped up by debt, which means they're dead. They don't actually exist. They can never generate enough profit to outdo the debt that they're constantly having to accumulate to keep their company going. So it's not really a free market, actually. The debt has polluted the system because it's the way that consciousness works. It's the old way. It's the old ingrained way. But what about if there's a new way? I keep talking about this new way. What about if there's a new way where it's a new blossoming way where it's about us, not me? What about if this is a better way where we connect and coexist for the betterment of everyone? And this, again, I fundamentally believe in my heart, if I do this and enough people do this, if there's enough core nucleus of people who go, hang on a minute, that way of doing things is actually a lot better, a lot easier on my consciousness, a lot easier on my mentality, a lot more like kind and friendly. There's no fights and arguments with communities. Who knows? It could be the new way. That's really something that I really hope for. And even when I was listening to the Adam, the Vibra Finance clip, it triggered something in my mind about trade and how humans first started to trade. We had all these tribes, and then what connected the tribes? Some kind of trade, like I'll give you this stone and you give me that stone. And what does that mean? We become friends. So it's like at the moment, we're still in this tribal stage. We're in this like Bitcoin is a tribe, Ethereum is a tribe, and then you have tribes within tribes. You got Pulsechain, then you got, you know, just PLSX and just Pulsechain and just Atropa or just HOA or whatever it is. We're still tribes. But when we create a liquidity pool, it's like two tribes coming together, making a trade and realizing, hang on a minute, if we just work together, it's better for both of us because we can move, we can ebb and flow together. If you're in trouble, I can save you. If I'm in trouble, you can save me. We can work together. And so I actually want to do a video on this about how the flow of trade to me is very reminiscent of the kind of things that I'm seeing in the developments of cryptocurrency. I'll do this kind of video in the future because I really like doing those sorts of things. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Once again, as always, the call for help is out there. If you go down the Maria rabbit hole and you figure something out, please tell me. If you find something, if you want to share something, always here to learn together. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much, everybody. Tomorrow will be the artificial intelligence episode with a bit of luck. That's the plan, but it usually takes a long time to do those kinds of videos. But I really like doing those videos because I think it's very important. I've been doing once a month. So if you don't watch those videos, it's something that you might be interested in as well. So thanks very much, everybody. Take care. We'll see you later.